The war in Ukraine is now entering its second month as delegations from Ukraine and Russia are set to hold in-person talks as soon as today. Ukraine's President Vladimir Zelenskyy says his country is ready to compromise but wants meaningful security guarantees from Western countries. He says any peace deal is only possible if Russia withdraws all of its troops to areas occupied before the war started. This as President Biden's aides scramble to walk back an impromptu moment during his major address in Poland, where he declared that Vladimir Putin cannot remain in power. Senior national correspondent Terry Moran has the latest from Lviv in western Ukraine.
This morning, Ukraine is pressing its counterattacks on several fronts, claiming new victories on the battlefield. These images released by Ukrainian authorities appear to show forces reclaiming the city of Trostianets near the Russian border. And government officials say more territory has been retaken near Sumy in the north, threatening Russia's overstretched supply lines. And 2 villages outside besieged Mariupol in the south were also said to have been retaken. But the brutal Russian assault continues. Russia struck targets in the western city of Lviv over the weekend, just 50 miles from the border with Poland. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy tried to speak directly to the Russian people in an interview with independent Russian journalists, but not aired on Russian state media. He said he is open to a peace deal if Russia withdraws its troops to territories that were occupied before the invasion. Ukraine would pledge neutrality and not join NATO, but only in return for security guarantees from Western countries. Ukrainian officials claim Russia no longer has the strength to, quote, swallow the whole state. The head of Ukraine's military intelligence said Putin may be shifting strategy to split Ukraine in two after Russia's failure to seize Kyiv and try to occupy the east and south of the country. All this comes on the heels of President Biden's major speech in Warsaw, where he reiterated U.S. support for Ukraine, called Vladimir Putin a war criminal, and then, perhaps caught up in the moment, he went a step further.
For God's sake, this man cannot remain in power.
That declaration was immediately met with a backlash, the administration insisting that removing Putin from power is not a U.S. goal.
We do not have a strategy of regime change in Russia or anywhere else for that matter. In this case, as in any case, it's up to the people of the country in question. It's up to the Russian people.
And overnight, Biden himself denied he was calling for Putin to be ousted.
Mr. President, were you calling for regime change?
No.
What?
And Terry Moran joins me live now from Lviv, Ukraine, for more on all of this. Terry, how significant are these new in-person talks? Do you think there's real progress being made?
You know, Diane, I think the most significant thing about these peace talks is that they are occurring and what they tell us about the course of this war. Remember, at the beginning, at the outset, Vladimir Putin announced that Russia's war aims were to demilitarize Ukraine, dismantle its army, defeat its army in the field, and denazify it. He calls the Ukrainian government here, with its freely elected Jewish president, a Nazi government, meaning regime change. That he's given up, or that he's willing to talk about something considerably short than that, shows you where the battle is right now. That Russian forces have exposed themselves as badly led, badly supplied, badly disciplined. They are just not as effective as everybody thought they were, and the Ukrainians are quite spirited and skilled in the field. Now, will they get anywhere? Well, there are elements on the table. Ukraine is willing to give up, it sounds like, territory, Crimea and eastern Ukraine, and the opportunity to join NATO. Now, President Zelenskyy did say that would require a vote of the people of Ukraine, and it is possible that after this horror, after the terrible war that they've been through, they might say, we did all that and we're still giving up, we're still surrendering part of our country. It might be hard for them to sell that. So we're a long way from anything, but the fact that they are sitting down in person in Turkey, a country which is said to be very keen on helping to broker a deal, means there's some progress being made.
And Terry, for the first time in weeks, there are no humanitarian corridors open for evacuating civilians over concern of possible provocation from Russian forces. What are you hearing on that front, and why the change?
But, you know, people are concerned. This is a Russian tactic, not just here, but in Syria and in Chechnya as well. They'll declare a humanitarian corridor. They'll get people going out, and they'll shell it. They'll say there was some provocation, that somebody fired a gun at them or something out of it. And that has been happening when Russians have been at war now for many years. And so people don't trust it, understandably. They have had some successful evacuations. Mariupol, this besieged city in the south, 500,000 people lived there before the war. It's down considerably. Most people are out. But the UN said today that across Ukraine, which is a huge country, right, 42 million people, 13 million people are still trapped by the war. They can't get out. Either they're besieged or they can't make their way down dangerous roads. And the humanitarian situation is getting severe. We were with Samaritan's Purse. That is the NGO that is run by Franklin Graham, the preacher. They are here in force, and they are hearing from pastors and from mayors that things are desperate medically. People need their medication. They need surgery for if they've got wounds. People might be pregnant or have other conditions, and they are really in desperate straits. And there really isn't, for all the talk about the humanitarian emergency, you don't see a lot of wheels turning on the ground here to address it. And so it is getting dire. Those humanitarian corridors are essential, but so is a lot more aid actually getting to the people who need it. Diane?
All right, Terry Moran in Lviv, Ukraine. Terry, thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.